In the previous lessons, we started to talk about layout design in Dreamweaver and in the HTML and CSS languages, and we started to talk about divs, which means division, and this is the main element we use nowadays to give a layout to our website. And then we can apply not only dimensioning and positioning, but also styles and effects, so colors and contrast, shadows, and border radius. We can make them a little bit rounded. So we have a lot of properties here that we can use, and we can pick from the CSS designer, which is the main tool that we use to stylize our website. So we can add here, for example, shadows, not only for the text, but also for the actual box that we're using. So we can consider the div to be like a box, like an element that can be anything basically, but is essentially dividing parts of the page. So once we define with a unique ID a part of our interface of our website or web page, then we can stylize. And not only with these styles, also opacity is a really cool effect, but we can also give a position. So we can say, okay, this is gonna go like on the top or on the bottom, etc., etc. But also really important is the sizing. So in this lesson, we will talk about sizing and also about units in a more specific way, which are relative and absolute units. So I'm going to create a new site for this. It's going to be lesson 12. So here we can store and we can create new documents for these new pages. So we already know the procedure, so I just went quick here, just gonna create new HTML. I'm not gonna use Bootstrap at the moment, but you will see that Bootstrap is basically a set of predefined elements created with CSS that you can directly use and customize. So it's gonna save you a lot of work of creating and stylizing your own elements, but it's also fun to create your own. I'm gonna save this as index as usual because this is gonna be always our first page, and I'm gonna insert quickly another div just like we did in the previous lesson. So we little by little we're gonna know this better and better. So if it's not gonna give you the possibility to put a name for this div right here, and so this is the moment when we need to decide if this is gonna be an ID or not. So you can see it doesn't have an ID, but if I want, I can put it right here. So I can call this just test. Okay, so this is going to be div ID test. So you either write it yourself here, or you just click on this part of your on the properties panel. You can apply an ID right here, which can also be used with the anchor link. And you can also define a class or assign a class if you have it in your CSS right now. But at the moment, we don't care about class. Let's stick with the div ID, which is the one to create a unique part of your web page. So we have some text in here, and we can go in the selectors. If well, right now we don't have any CSS actually, so I'm just going to create a new CSS file, which is going to go directly in here. So I'm going to call this CSS for sizing. Okay, so we talked about positioning in the previous lesson, but right now we're going to focus more on the sizing and also on how this is how a div is actually made. So if I click on plus, now I have in the selectors, now I have the selector for this ID for this div, specific and unique, and we can start right here. So in the layout tab, we saw the positioning right here, which is by default is static, so it's going to go on the top left of the page. And then before of this, we have some other stuff that we already mentioned, like width and height, and you can use auto, you can use all these units. So some of these units are considered to be absolute, like this one on the top especially, and these ones are relative. And then we have others, but you have like the most important ones, and then you have like secondaries, etc., etc. Now down here you also have some other important settings, the margin and the padding, and then you can see it proceeds with the position of the element, and then you have the text. So everything about layout is up here, and then you can also use this to move around into the various stylizing. So we're gonna start here by, I usually start by assigning a background color so that we actually can see the size of that element. And right now I want to just do something different. So I want to use an image. Now, when you use an image, you can browse directly here. You can also use a gradient actually, but let's use an image. So I'm gonna go here and just pick an image that I have. Okay. Now, every time you do this, it's going to ask you to create a copy in your folder, because you need to keep everything together, especially the images which are not inserted in the page. They are only linked. So I'm going to do this like this, images, and save. Okay, now you can see I only view part of the image because the div here is really small. So if I go in the sizing, I can start to set this up. So I can say pixels, let's go for pixels. And you can see I can give some dimensioning. So that's the width, and let's assign also the height. I can click and drag here. Clicking with the left mouse, I can see a couple of arrows. If I click and drag, I can do this dynamically and size this dynamically. You can see I can reveal little by little part of the image. Now this is a really big image. It's full HD, so it's 1920 for the width and 1080 for the height. So it will never fit in this. We can see up here, this is the ruler for the pixels. So I can also use an image as a background for my divs. So now that I have a div, I can start to position. We talked about parent and child. We talked about the various types of positioning. You will find also many examples if you didn't understand that, because that's kind of complex. So if you want to know more, we're going to do more examples, but you can also search in the web about positioning with examples. Now we're going to talk more about sizing. So the div sizing, it's about not only the actual size, but also the padding, the border, and the margin. They all contribute to the dimension of that particular div or container or box. You can, again, call it however you want. So you have to consider margins, which are more external to the box, and then you have padding, which is internal to the box, and then you have the border, which is kind of in between the margin and the padding, but it's gonna also, if you make it really thick, it's gonna add dimensions, so it's gonna make things even bigger. As usual, we have some official references like the W3C, which is gonna show you correctly what you can do with the various sizing properties. So let's go back in our Dreamweaver site. And so we define here kind of the basic box sizing. So let's make this, let's round this to 400 times 300. Okay, so this is our box. So we don't want to position this at the moment. We just want to play with the sizing, but I want to make this a little bit more centered. So I want to go here in the positioning, and I want to change this into absolute, and I want to move this a little bit from the top like this, so you can click and drag and slide as well. So you can also do this again dynamically, and let's put it a little bit center. We don't really need this, but this is to have a better look to our box. So now it's looking like a box floating into the page. Now let's go up and let's start with the margins. And I'm gonna start here by using pixels, so not relative but absolute units. If I click on this little link, if I click here, it's gonna change the size of all the various sides of the box. Now I cannot really see anything here because margins are essentially invisible. Now if I do padding, which is the internal spacing, let's again click on the link and click and drag. Well, also here you wouldn't really see anything unless you start to insert some content. Now the image in the background or the background is not an actual content. So let me go back here to background and let's remove this, and that's the actual content right there. So let's put a gradient now instead of a single color or an image. So let's use this gradient. Okay, so now you can see that if I go back to the margins and the padding right here, so if